Dear Ma, the journey to Texas has gone well. Sergeant Habernath is getting real tired from all this travel. You won't believe the cheap prices I got for this land. I only had to convert to Catholicism and become a Mexican citizen. I hope to start a family here, but you better get here quick like because this land is selling faster than hotcakes on a Saturday morning.
As Americans were looking for jobs, Stephen F. Austin recognized the opportunity to buy extremely cheap land for agriculture in Texas at the cost of only 12.5 cents per acre. So he got a bunch of followers to settle Texas with him, and people began pouring in by the thousands because Mexico was so cooperative, only requiring that they become a citizen of Mexico, and the only requirement to become a citizen of Mexico was to convert to Catholicism. So pretty soon, this attractiveness of Texas had Americans outnumbering Mexicans 4-1. And over time, these Americans became fed up with the Mexican government and didn't want to have anything to do with them. And when Mexico outlawed the immigration of Americans into Texas, the people began to revolt.
Tell me, Dave, what has brought you to my humble abode?
Steve, I reckon you wouldn't believe what I saw today. I was talking to one of the law enforcers, and he told me that he was here just because it was his punishment for a crime that he did. Let me tell you something, Steve. Maybe the government is becoming corrupt. Mayhaps we should just start our own republic and become independent.
Good afternoon. As Texans began to revolt, Mexico sent a large force to quell this rebellion. This dispute, or one of the disputes, the largest disputes, happened at the Battle of the Alamo.
Remember the Alamo!
Although Texas did suffer a major loss at the Alamo, they however did get back on their feet at the Battle of San Jacinto, where they captured Santa Anna and forced them to sign the Treaty of Velasco. Mexico still thought of Texas as their land since the Treaty of Velasco was signed without the representation, and in this context, I think this is where the war actually began.
Uh-huh. Okay. I reckon I done did find you, and I'm gonna take you my prisoner. I'm gonna need you to sign this here piece of paper. This here's the Treaty of Velasco, signed in 1836 by General Santa Anna. This granted Texas their independence, however, Mexico didn't recognize this because they were forced to sign it. And then, muchacho?
Pero my honor!
I don't give a darn about your honor. I'ma need you to sign this here Treaty of Velasco and require you Mexicans to give me and my fellow vaqueros our freedom, the independence of Texas. But, I'm gonna need a pen.
Sí. Unbelievable. I cannot bring myself to do it.
Yeah, right there. I'm gonna need that John Hancock real big. Yes! Me and my fellow Texans are free, and we will form the Republic of Texas.
With the Treaty of Velasco signed in 1836, Texas became its own independent nation, recognized by all except for Mexico as the Republic of Texas. They elected Sam Houston to be their president, who was in favor of the annexation of Texas by the United States. So they began working on a plan to be allowed into the Union. Although they were denied on their first attempt because of the fear of the start of a war with Mexico, Texas kept trying, and with the election of President James K. Polk in the United States, who was in favor of Manifest Destiny, they were admitted into the Union as Texas with the hope that they would be able to fulfill Manifest Destiny. So 9 years later, after they had signed the Treaty of Velasco and became their own independent nation, Texas was now part of the United States, and President James K. Polk sent their troops into Texas to help them defend against Mexico.
I, James K. Polk, believe in the expansion of this country. From sea to shining sea, from coast to coast, we will get that land and we will expand through blood, sweat, and tears, whatever it takes.
Mr. President, I got this here presentation. This is our plan from Texas.
Well, hold on, son. Hold your horses. Alright, I was planning on expanding anyway, okay? This here was going to happen, and it will happen. We will fulfill manifest destiny.
Well, are you gonna send in some soldiers or what?
I will send in a large force, and you shall have protection against those Mexicans.
Yippee! Wahoo!
General Zachary Taylor was sent into Texan territory with a large force, which acted as a catalyst for the rest of the battles of the Mexican-American War. The majority of these battles, except for a few, were lost by Mexico due to Americans' supreme fighting style. One of the major battles of this war was the Battle for Mexico City, where a large force was sent to attack Mexico City, in which it then fell a few days later. After many defeats, Mexico was forced to sign the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo for 525,000 square acres of land was given to America for $15 million. This land included California, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, and Utah. A few months after this treaty was signed, however, conflicts still battled on. One of these battles was the Battle of Santa Cruz de Rosales. In this battle, General Sterling Price demanded the unconditional surrender of the city of Chihuahua. After a few weeks of siege, however, Chihuahua was finally attacked by Sterling Price's forces and slaughtered, thus resulting in the last battle of the Mexican-American War.
Madre, I'm writing to you today about the events that happened when I was riding my horse Felipe de Cuatro Cinco, he says. I was in town and it got really dark and I saw these men come in with the cannons. And this man come up to me and he tell me his name is Price, General Price, and he's looking for my leader because he wants to take siege of the city, but I tell him I do not know where he is. And he tell me that they're going to take siege of the city, and I just wanted to tell you that if I die, give my poncho to my son Nacho. Thank you so much, mother. I love you. But if they take siege, I will not understand because we already signed the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. And they tell me the war is over, but it isn't. And maybe this is the last maybe this is the last one. But I love you, mother. I love you so much, so be strong.
With the completion of the Mexican-American War, we take a step back and look at the effects of the war, which are both monumental and minuscule. Without these states, our politics would have been altered greatly because these states are very highly populated and have some of the strongest political influence of all the states in the U.S. We could have elected different presidents or made different laws or taken different turns as a country, and we may have ended up somewhere entirely different from where we are today as a country. Without these states, there would be a lack of resources. Most of these states that we acquired from the Mexican-American War are the leading producers of things like cotton, corn, oranges, natural gas, cattle. Without these states, we would have a lack of people. Our population would be majorly cut. We would have a smaller workforce. We would have less people to make innovations and technological advances. We may have been less economically prosperous because we may not have had the people to support us in our times of hardship. Without these states, maybe we wouldn't have been able to accomplish manifest destiny. We might not have been able to expand any more. We may not have acquired states like Alaska or Hawaii. And if we never grew, if we don't continue to grow, we may not have ever been a superpower like we are today. We may not have had such powerful influence on things like the United Nations. We may not be the defender of many small countries that can't defend themselves. Without these states, life quality all over the world may have been diminished greatly.